So continuing this young players thing, we're going to talk about Marvin Bagley. His stats were pretty damn awesome for his rookie season. I mean, 25 minutes, 15-7, closer to 15-8, with 1 block a game, and he also didn't have a million fouls, which I think is pretty intriguing for a young big. So the first question I have with Bagley for this upcoming season is he going to start? Because the Kings have a few options between Harrison Barnes at small forward, Bagley at power forward, Dwayne Dedmon at center, or you can go like Barnes, Bielitsa, Bagley. There's just a whole lot of stuff there, and there's Harry Giles, who I think the front office likes kind of a lot, so there is a little bit of a logjam up front for these guys, which is part of the reason why I didn't freak out as much when they signed my guy Dwayne Dedmon. So that's number one, just figuring out who the hell Bagley's actually going to play with. I guess the conversation of whether Bagley is a 4 or a 5 is still a thing. My opinion is he's probably a starting power forward, but hopefully you can move him to center in certain situations. I don't want him playing full-time center because I just feel like he might have to bulk up a little bit for that, and I think it would be better for him to focus on the things that are really exciting, right? His handle, his potential as a shooter, things like that. So I guess that's my opinion on his position. But anyway, in terms of how's Bagley going to improve for this upcoming year. So for all the exciting things he can do, the athleticism, the way he can grab a rebound and bring it up the floor himself, the way that he just exists as this really athletic big who can grab a few offensive rebounds and then block a shot and catch an alley-oop. He just kind of makes things happen on the floor. I think a lot of it really just comes down to his shooting and his defense. Up to this point, his shooting has looked like something. I mean, I think if you do enough of a search for his shooting and when he's actually making threes and taking them and all that, it actually looks pretty good. And you can talk yourself into this guy being something, but at the same time, he doesn't take that many. His release is not exactly fast. His free throws were not horrible, but not that good in his rookie year. And they also weren't that good in college. Although, to be nice, his free throws improved in the NBA. 63% in college, almost 70% in the NBA. So that's, a little bit of an improvement. That's cool. So where do I end up on Bagley as a shooter? I guess stay tuned. His mid-range numbers are not bad. He actually shot over 40% on long twos. Granted, it was only like 6% of his shots last year. But that's something, I guess. I think Bagley will eventually get to a point of being solid from mid-range, and I have to assume he's at least going to be able to make corner threes in time. As far as do I expect it for this upcoming year? Not too much, no. I mean, if he's shooting threes, I doubt it'll be anything more than 2 or 3 a game. And his percentage, was 31%. If Bagley gets to 3.5 attempts a game at 33%, then that would be cool. But while I don't think Bagley is going to be as good as Anthony Davis, I do think he has a little bit of that Anthony Davis-ness to him where it's like we don't want him shooting too many threes. We want Bagley around the rim where he can just wreak havoc on both backboards. So not too many threes, but a little bit of an improvement could definitely be a thing. I'm expecting his handle to get better. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if Bagley is one day like Blake Griffin with his handle. Not that I think he'll be as good of a playmaker. I mean, I guess it's a possibility, but Bagley does kind of have a tough time right now with reading defenses. Sometimes he gets a little too stubborn and tunnel vision-y when he decides he wants to do something. And I think it could hurt him if he's playing with Barnes and Dedmon, because, Harrison Barnes, he'll stand on the three-point line, but he doesn't want to do it all day. And Dedmon's going to be around the rim, so the spacing might not be amazing there. I don't know. I mean, to me, the lineup I would love to see the most is probably Fox, Hield, Bogdanovich, Bielitsa, and Bagley. Partially because damn near all their names have a B in it, but also because I just think that's the best combination of talent, spacing, understanding of who's going to take shots. And I don't know how much that's really going to happen this upcoming season. Now, I should say part of that is because Bagley may not be reliable defensively at this point, especially at center. If we talk about Bagley's defense now, I'm not expecting a big jump. I think we can expect marginal increases for him year to year. Now, with that said, his frame would suggest it'll be easier for him to be a good defender than the average dude. I mean, yeah, his wingspan isn't crazy, but it's still over 7 feet, and he's listed at 6'11", and of course, he's as athletic as maybe anyone in the league. So, I think against power forwards, against wings, Bagley could end up looking good this year. I do think whenever he has to be the main rim protector, that's when there's going to be problems. That could be another thing that stops him from playing center a lot, is he just might not be good enough defensively to really do it. I feel like Marvin's defense, it's not as far along as his offense, definitely, but I do think it's kind of in a similar boat where he just needs to get better at all the boring things. Like all the stuff that's not noticeable defensively is I think where Bagley just has to get better, and the Kings defensively last season were not good. I'm not expecting a massive increase. I mean, Dedmon can certainly help. He's definitely better defensively than Willie Cauley-Stein. So it's possible Bagley could get bailed out every now and then because of Dedmon on defense. Okay, so basically where I end up with Bagley for this second year is I think he has to start, even if the fit's a little awkward. I think he's going to do a lot of the stuff he did last year, which was just be able to do things that typical bigs can't do, like grab a rebound and go coast to coast and just pull off really athletic plays, basically, while also having a good handle. And then we'll also see some improvements on the less exciting but still pretty essential things for Bagley. And yeah, this bleeds into my team preview thing a little bit. Do I think the Kings are going to make the playoffs? I would really like them to, but part of me thinks they're still a year away, where maybe they could squeak into the 8th seed, or maybe they lose out by a game or something. Kind of like what Denver did, where they lost it to the T-Wolves in the last game of the year 2 years ago, and then this previous year they were damn near the 1 seed. Although I don't know if the Kings will make that big of a jump. But yeah, I think they could be in for that kind of a season, so they'll be fun, and Bagley will be as exciting as ever. So there you go.